Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and I got some really cool new Blu-rays to add to my collection that I want to show off to you. Hey everyone, so thanks for coming back to the channel. I've got a whole pile of stuff that I need to go through, new additions to my collection, including some really cool VHS Blu-rays from Mill Creek. I'm loving their VHS cover series where they kind of make the Blu-ray look like a VHS. They're super cool to have on your shelf. So I got a bunch of those, a really cool complete series set, as well as some stuff that I picked up from Bull Moose. Those I want to show off to you. If you really like movie collecting, Blu-ray, 4K, home theater, physical media stuff, most importantly. I do some home theater stuff, but it's mostly focused on Blu-ray and 4K and physical media collecting. That's what I'm all about. That's what I'm best at. That's what I'm going to kind of stay in that lane. If you like that stuff, consider subscribing, like the videos, and let other people know about them. But, you know, other than that, we're just going to jump right into this collection update video. So the first couple things here I actually got from Bull Moose, and it was based on, I read some articles about like the scariest movies of the 2010s, and I was going through like what didn't I see. And so I decided to grab both of these because I hadn't seen them. It's VHS and VHS 2. They're both kind of a horror anthology series, so if you like that, you may like these movies. There's basically this overarching storyline with a couple people who are going into abandoned houses and looking for specific items or a person, and they come across these VHS tapes in this collection, and they basically put the tapes in one by one, and you kind of see the horrible stuff that's on these tapes. Each tape tells a different story. They're roughly, I don't know, 15 minutes long, 20 minutes long at the most. But some of them are really good. Some of them are just eh. Personally, I thought VHS 2 was a little bit scarier and better. But VHS 1 has one of my favorites in the whole series. And it's the first one called Amateur Night. But VHS 2 had one directed by Gareth Evans, who did the Raid movies that I really liked about a cult. It also has a great alien abduction one and kind of a cool take on the zombie apocalypse phenomenon. So VHS 2 is definitely my favorite of the two, but they're both pretty good movies. They're found footage. It's always a first-person view, so it's a little jarring if you're not used to that or you don't like that sort of thing. But I was into them. I didn't think VHS 1 was super scary. Not a lot of jump scares in these either, just kind of creepy stories. Almost like an adult version of like Are You Afraid of the Dark? Or it reminds me of like Tales from the Crypt or stuff like that. Trick or Treat, like it's an anthology series, so there's a lot of different stories going on with this overarching story plot. But I really thought that was cool. They have some good directors on this, and so if you're interested in something different for horror, these two are kind of hard to find. I'm lucky to get this with a slipcover, but they were like $10 a piece from Bull Moose, so I grabbed them. Also grabbed this one, House of a Thousand Corpses, because I just simply hadn't seen it yet. I've seen 3 from Hell, and I've seen Devil's Rejects, and so I was like, why haven't I seen the original where this all started? So I grabbed this brand new. It was only like $6 from Bull Moose. It actually helped me put me over the free shipping threshold. So instead of paying $5 for shipping, I paid $6 for this. And I basically got a movie for free because I was going to pay for shipping for those other two anyway. So it's always good to find little cart stuffers like this to get your free shipping. And it's a movie I needed and one that I've heard a lot about. Haven't watched it yet, but I'll be looking forward to watching it very soon. Now, I also picked up Parasite. This is one that's getting a ton of buzz for Best Picture, possibly Best Director, Best Screenplay. There's a ton of stuff going on in this. Haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it. I'm hoping to do that this weekend before the Oscars. But I really like this guy's films. I don't even want Bong Joon-ho. Like, I'm going to butcher his name. You guys know how bad I am with names. Check my last video. Denis Villeneuve, whatever I said. So no offense, I don't want to butcher his name, but he makes some really cool movies that I've seen. The Host is a really good one in particular, and so I want to check out Parasite. Also, Snowpiercer was really good. Like he makes really good movies, and so I'm excited. I've been told not to read anything about it or even look anything up, and so I haven't even read the back cover of the disc. I don't even want to know anything about it. I'm going to go in blind and see what happens, but I've heard great things, and so I want to catch it before the Oscars, so when I do my Oscar predictions, I have a better idea of whether that one's going to win or not, in my opinion. Now, a couple review copies that I got in. This just came in, so I haven't opened it yet, But I heard really good things, and it's cool to see this make its way to Blu-ray with the digital copy. And it's Swamp Thing, the complete series from Warner Brothers and DC. I don't know what channel this was on. I think it was on CW. Isn't that where they put most of the shows from DC? I think it was on CW, but I heard really good things, and I heard people were super upset that it was canceled. I think after just one season. I think it's just 10 episodes. That's what it says in the back. So it got canceled after one season, but I heard it was really good. I'm interested in this kind of stuff. I love DC Comics. I like them a lot more than Marvel. I don't know why. I've always liked DC better. So I'm going to check that one out very soon and watch that show because I've heard great things. Definitely, let me know if you guys have seen it, what you thought about it. But without further ado, now I've got these super cool VHS Blu-rays from Mill Creek. I love that they're doing this because they're trying something different with the artwork, which is really cool. And it's a lot of like 80s and 90s movies. Even some stuff. Is this one from the 70s? I think it might be. Yeah, 1979. So first one we've got is No Mercy with Richard Gere and Kim Basinger. Oh my God, I can't say people's names. You know who I'm talking about. I'm so terrible with names. But this is a really cool cover. I've heard it's a decent movie. I don't know much about it. Haven't watched it yet, but I just love to have it on the shelf. The only weird thing with this one is it's got a name on the spine here, but not on the spine here. And if you look at the other three, they all have the names on the spine, or this way. So I don't know what happened, how this one ended up without that, but looks kind of odd on the shelf, is what it is. Then I also got Cyndi Lauper and Jeff Goldblum. And I dropped it. Okay, and I'm back. I got Cyndi Lauper and Jeff Goldblum in a movie called Vibes. Never heard of this. Love the artwork on it, though. It is as 90s or late 80s, I guess, as it gets. But it's got Jeff Goldblum, Peter Falk, Julian Sands, and Steve Buscemi. And it's the acting debut for Cyndi Lauper. So, like, what a cast. That's incredible. Next up, I've got a Bruce Willis movie from 1991. And this is Hudson Hawk. Stars Bruce Willis, Danny Aiello, Andy McDowell, and Sandra Bernard. Says it's the funniest action-adventure comedy ever. Wow, like Bad Boys would like a word with you. But, I like Bruce Willis. I love this packaging, especially. This is super 90s. Really cool retro with the colors on it. And so that was a really cool one to add to my collection. And these are all movies I didn't have, and that's the cool thing about Mill Creek. Like, they kind of take old catalog titles that the studios probably wouldn't spend the time and money on to turn into like a premiere physical media release. Mill Creek buys up the rights and they put out these kind of cool packages. Are they always the best video and audio quality? No, but like at least we're getting HD transfers of these things. And then one movie that I do really like, and I'm glad I got this, I didn't have it in my collection, is When a Stranger Calls. I know Mill Creek did When a Stranger Calls, and there's like an older version of this. I wonder if the artwork is the same. I don't think it is. So the slipcover is definitely what's new. But this is 1979, classic horror movie. The calls coming from within the house, that whole thing. Babysitter who's watching over some kids, gets some weird phone calls from strangers, tries to figure out where's it coming from, ends up, never mind. But Carol Kane is the babysitter. It's got Charles Durning on it. He comes on the scene to try to, apprehend the guy. And there's actually like a whole story here. It goes a little bit further because they jump 7 years ahead. And, the person comes back to haunt Carol Kane's character when she's a mother, and she kind of fights back. And so it's got a whole thing, more than just the story that maybe from the remake, because they remade this and they cut a lot of that story out. They kind of just focused on the young babysitter portion. They didn't fast forward and kind of explore that whole dynamic between the babysitter and the stranger and the killer. And so kind of a cool movie. And then the last one for this video, I've seen this whole series on Netflix, but I'm really loving that more and more Netflix is coming to physical media, and also that Mill Creek is taking on so many TV shows and giving HD transfers. Like I said with the Mindy Project, I'm like, fingers crossed that they can somehow get their hands on The Office or Parks and Rec, but NBC they're starting the new streaming service and with Comcast, and probably not going to give up the rights to that, of course, because they're super expensive as well. But I'm really hoping those get an HD transfer from somebody like Mill Creek, because they've given us here The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, the complete series, all on Blu-ray, 51 episodes, 4 seasons, completely on Netflix, never hit network TV, and that's why it's so cool to get a physical media release. Netflix, as much as we don't like streaming, I still like Netflix the best of all the streaming platforms, and they really do seem to be making a commitment to physical media. This show has come out on Blu-ray now. They've done Stranger Things. They did House on Haunted Hill. They're actually putting out Marriage Story and The Irishman into the Criterion Collection, as well as American Factory and one more movie I can't remember that was a foreign film. But they got a deal with Criterion to put out Netflix movies. Like, Netflix is still, even as a streaming platform, recognizes the value of physical media. And so they're by far my favorite. And the fact that they keep putting, you know, the rights to these shows in the hands of people who can develop a physical media release is super cool. So that's it for this video. It's just a quick collection update. I do have some 4K reviews in the works. I've got to get through a little bit of a backlog of older titles. There'll be some more stuff coming to that Is It Worth an Upgrade series that I think a lot of you like, especially as many people are still transitioning into 4K. You know, maybe not every review has to be on the latest title, but something like E.T., which I just did, you know, that may be a movie people are looking to buy as they make the transition. And so to have a fresh review of that is helpful. And to have a review of that period on my channel is helpful for those people. I've heard that. So we'll be doing more of that. There's potentially some cool home theater stuff coming in. Still trying to work out some details with people. And I've heard a lot of kind of rumblings about some other physical media titles that may be coming from Disney, Fox. There's kind of been some talk there. Also some more stuff possibly coming from Universal. There's a lot of rumblings with really cool stuff going on, so I'm excited. 2020 is going to be a big year. I appreciate you guys all watching, all the subscribers out there. It's crazy that I have, you know, literally when I got 5,000 subscribers, I was like, wow, this is like, what a cool hobby to have. And now I'm up past 25,000. So it's crazy to talk to that many people on a, you know, almost daily basis, but I really appreciate everybody who's watching, and it really means a lot. And I'm hoping to put more content out very shortly and have lots more to review. So remember, stay up to date with me on Instagram. Check out all the links down in my description. There are some Amazon links down there. If you do click on those, as you know, I get a small commission from those and help support my channel. And if you ever have any questions, let me know. Shoot me an email or find me on Instagram. It's a great place to get in touch. I always like saying hi to people. So thanks for watching again. I'll talk to you guys soon. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll be back this weekend with some more videos.